Oh, there it is. 4, 5, and 6 are together. So I'll chant them together and explain them together. Adrashura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata Drishtaketuschekitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kundibhojascha Shaivyascha Narapungavaha Yudhamanyushcha Vikranta Uttamaujascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharataha. So he says here in this army of the Pandavas, again telling Duryodhana, pointing to the Pandavas, here in this army of the Pandavas are the heroes wielding great bows, the great archers, who in battle are the equals of Bhima and Arjuna, such as Yuyudhana, Satyaki, and Virata, and the Maharatas, and the Maharata Drupada. So here, not only do we have to fight with Arjuna and Bhima, but there are many soldiers here who are their equals. So we have to fight with the best of the soldiers, Arjuna and Bhima, but not just them. If there were just 2 of them, then okay, and the others were run-of-the-mill soldiers, and then we might be okay. But others who are the equals of Bhima and Arjuna, and then he names some of them. Drishtaketu, Chekitana, and the valiant king of Kashi, Varanasi. Purujit, Kundibhoja, and Shaibya, the choicest among men. So again, he's recognizing all of the great qualities of those who are opposed. And for 2 reasons. One reason, because again, he wants to point to the Drupada that we are in trouble. We have all of these great soldiers arrayed against us, and I don't trust you. I don't trust you because some of them are your disciples, and you're intelligent and great disciples. And so look at all of these people that we are arrayed against. And the other reason he's saying this is because of his own fear. So he's afraid, that's why he approaches Drona, and he's also doubtful about Drona, and so he wants to make Drona feel bad. He wants to make Drona aware of the fact that I know that you are not trustworthy, because these are great warriors and they are also your disciples. And so in these verses he's again setting the stage with Drona for the battle, and also showing his own defeat. Because by showing that he doesn't trust his own commander, then he's already making conscious and making clear the divide between them. And so if you have a commander of your army you're about to fight, the last thing you want to do is to emphasize the fact that you don't trust him. The last thing you want to do is to emphasize the fact that there's distance between you. Your commander is too late to change now, and so the thing a wise general like Duryodhana should have done was to make the best of the situation. It's not going to change now, and at this point, when you're about to start killing each other, then to weaken your commanding officer by showing I don't really trust you, that just shows both the wicked intelligence of Duryodhana and the poor intelligence, his own poor intelligence. He should have been able to control himself to realize that now we're going into battle and we have to make best of a bad situation, but he couldn't do that. And that you find is psychologically very apt, very correct, that we find in our own lives. We find it in ourselves and we see it in other people also, that even when we know what is best in the situation, sometimes we want to give a pinch or a barb or something to hurt the other person, even though we know it's not going to help me, but I can't help it. I can't help it. I still want to hurt them. And so, again, look at the characters in context of our own life as we are. And so then in verse 7 it says, Asmakam tu vishishtaye tan nibodha dvijottama nayaka mama sanyasya sanyartham tan pradimite. So asmakam tu vishishtaye Tandiboda Dvijottama. Oh, best of the Brahmins. It was Drona, though he was a military teacher, he was a Brahmin. So, oh, best of the Brahmins, know those among us who are of extraordinary quality also, those who are Vishishta, those who are special among us. So I told you, I pointed out the Pandavas, but now he wants to come back and brag about his own troops. And that also in order to bolster his own confidence, because he's lost his confidence already, as we see from the previous verses. He's lost his confidence. So now he's trying to regain confidence because the battle is about to begin. So, O best among the Brahmins, please be apprised of those who are foremost among us, the commanders of my army, Nayaka. Know the Nayakas of my army. I speak of them to you by way of example. So let me tell you about them by way of example. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samiting Jayaha Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumadatti Jayadratha. Yes, that's, yeah, of course it's Jayadratha. So the printing is very unclear here. So these among our soldiers who are special, they are your venerable self, Bhavan. You yourself are among these special warriors. Because of course Drona was not just a warrior, but he was a teacher of the best of the warriors. So it includes you, it includes Bhishma and Karna and Kripa, who is ever victorious, Kripa who is ever victorious in battle. It includes Ashwathama, Vikarna, Somadatti, and Jayadratha. So all of these recognize on our side also, we have great soldiers too. So on the one hand, he is fearful and he's in doubt about his own situation. But on the other hand, he's proud of the people that the accomplishment that he has in gathering such great warriors on his side as well. And then 9 says, Anye cha bahava shura madarthe tyakta jivitaha nana shastra praharana sarve yuddha visharadaha. There are many other heroes who also have dedicated their lives. Many other heroes on our side who have dedicated their lives for my sake, for me. So again, he's full of pride, thinking that this is all, it's all about me. It's all for my sake, and all of these people have come and ready to sacrifice themselves for me. Who wield various kinds of weapons and missiles. Nana Shastra Praharana, who wield all types of weapons and missiles. Sarve Yuddha Visharada, all of whom are skilled in battle. All of them are skilled in battle, and they have various types of weapons. So they're skilled in battle, and also they are well armed. So both of these things. And then he says, Aparyaptam tarasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam Paryaptam tatvidame tesham balam bhishmabhirakshitam. So here there's a difference of opinion among different interpreters, because aparyaptam and paryaptam can be interpreted in two different ways. Paryaptam can be interpreted as limited and aparyaptam as unlimited. And so taking that interpretation, which Madhusudana takes here, it means that this army of ours, under the complete protection of Bhishma, Bhishma Bhirakshitam, completely protected by Bhishma, is unlimited. So this army of ours is unlimited. But this army of the enemies, under the protection of Bhima, is limited. But some have taken it to mean, paryaptam means complete, and aparyaptam incomplete. And so those like Swami, what was his name? Who has a wonderful translation of the Gita that he did with Sister Nivedita. It's not coming to me right now, though I know him quite well. is on the tip of my tongue, but he interprets it this way, that our army is incomplete, but their army is complete, meaning he was, again, expressing doubt. But most interpreters have taken it to mean that no, our force is unlimited and theirs is limited. So again, he's beginning to brag. So taking it in that way, he's bragging about his own army and the fact that we will be able to win this battle. Let me take some butter. Okay, so verse 11 says, Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagavavastitaha bhishmameva virakshantu bhavanta sarva eva hi. However, venerable sirs, now he's turned his back on Drona. He's turned his back. First he insults Drona, then he brags about his own soldiers and says that they've come here to fight for me. He's taking everything in a very personal sense. And now he just turns his back on Drona without any ceremony. Again, Drona is his teacher. Drona is his guru. But he turns his back on him and addresses all of the other generals. That, O venerable sirs, all of you without exception, while occupying all the positions in the different directions allotted to you, please fully protect Bhishma in particular. Because Bhishma is their commanding general. He is the most important. He's the cohesive force. He's the one who oversees the whole thing. Directly under Duryodhana, but it's upon him that Duryodhana is most dependent, and that the army is most dependent. Bhishma was already an old man, and yet such an experienced warrior, that because of his knowledge of tactics and of strategy, his brilliant military knowledge, he was the most important person on the side of the Kauravas. And so, however, venerable sirs, all of you without exception, while occupying all the positions in the different directions as allotted to you, please fully protect Bhishma in particular. So again, just remember that he's again insulted Drona, and now he's turned his back on him and started talking to others. Then it says, Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha simhanaram vinadyokchai sangham dadmau pratapavan. So now Sanjaya is speaking again as the narrator. It doesn't say, as it usually does, Sanjaya Uvacha, but we have to understand that Sanjaya Uvacha, again Sanjaya is speaking, the narrator is speaking. So then Duryodhana has addressed all of his commanding officers and has pointed to Bhishma that you must protect him above all. And then says, the valiant grandfather, that is Bhishma, the eldest of the Kurus, loudly sounding a lion roar, blew the cock to raise Duryodhana's spirits. So now Bhishma has seen, because Bhishma was very wise. Bhishma was good, a very virtuous man, and he was very wise. And he knows what's happening to Duryodhana. He knows that Duryodhana, first of all, doesn't have confidence because he knows that he's not in the right. When we're doing something wicked, we already have fear because of that. Because within each one of us, there's an instinctive, there's like the needle of a compass that points always towards north. We have a compass which always points towards the Dharma. And when we're going in a different direction, which some people do habitually, and others do sometimes, then we know that we're going in the wrong direction. But something inside of us is pushing us and we can't help it. Just as I said about Duryodhana, he knew that he should be giving confidence to Drona, but he has to give a pinch to him in order to hurt him, because something inside of him makes him do it. And so Bhishma knows that Duryodhana is faltering in his confidence. He knows that he knows that Duryodhana knows that he's in the wrong. And he knows that Duryodhana, seeing the Pandavas and Sri Krishna arrayed against him, he's full of fear. So in order to try to bolster the courage of Duryodhana, he begins to blow his conch shell. Why do we nowadays blow conch shells when there's a puja or something like that? Why blow a conch shell? Because the original purpose of the conch shell was it was used as a battle horn. When you're going into battle, you blow it in order to frighten the enemy, as you make a huge noise with the conch shells. Why is it that nowadays armies fight differently in the modern times, but even up until 100 years ago, armies would still face each other on the battlefield, and they would often have people playing drums and blowing trumpets and blowing a bugle and all of that. Why? One was to give a message to the soldiers, but the other was to strike fear in the hearts of the opposing army. And so the conch shell, the sank, that was blown in order to strike fear in the hearts of the enemy. And then later it was used for puja as an auspicious sound. But why? Why do we blow it at the beginning of a puja, a big special puja especially? Or like in Belarbat, every day they blow it at the time of puja, and they blow it at the time of arati in the evening also, evening arati. They blow it in order to drive away evil spirits. So just as the soldiers would blow it in order to strike fear in the hearts of enemies, we blow it now in order to strike fear in the hearts of bhutas, pretas, pishachas, rakshasas, asuras, etc. To drive all of them away, all bad spirits. And for those who don't believe in evil spirits, which is quite a rational thing to do, those who don't believe in the evil spirits, then it's psychological. It's blowing away bad luck and evil any kind of evil influence, any kind of disharmony and bad luck. So whether you personify that in the form of asuras and pishachas and bhutas and pretas, etc., or whether you just think of it purely in terms, psychological terms, it doesn't matter. Either way is good. But that's the purpose. And so Bhishma is now blowing the sank in order to scare the other side. So now let me say a word about Bhishma. I'll stop in just a minute and then see if there are questions. But I'll come to a closing place, and then you can ask questions before we close. So let me say something about Bhishma. Bhishma, again, also called the grandfather, the grandsire. He knew, as Drona did also, he knew that the Pandavas were in the right. And his natural sympathies lay with the Pandavas, not with the Duryodhana. But his duty lay with the Kauravas. And so he fought to the best of his ability with them. And that's a great lesson. That when you do something, you can't always be on the side that you want to be. But do what you have to do it to the best of your ability. So that's what Bhishma did. He knew that the Pandavas were in the right, the Kauravas were in the wrong, and he knew that the Pandavas were stronger than the Kauravas because they were in the right, and also because they had the advice of Sri Krishna himself. But he also knew that this is where my duty lies. My duty lies in fighting for the Kauravas, and so he did his best. Duryodhana didn't have to worry about Bhishma, because Bhishma was a man of principle, a man of high principle, who would sacrifice everything personal for the sake of principle. He was a person who the ordinary person, the personality of Bhishma was gone, just a principle was left. And so he did that which had to be done and did it to the best of his ability. And we find cases like that in history also, of soldiers who found themselves on the side that they didn't want to be on, the side that they didn't believe in, but who did the best that they could in the circumstances, and fought the best that they could because they realized that this is my duty. This is my duty, so I'll do the best that I can. And that we should honor. Nowadays, we don't. Nowadays, there's the idea that Anybody who's on a bad side, even if they were caught on the wrong side, it wasn't of their choosing, but they were caught on the wrong side, then no, everybody must be punished and everybody must suffer and everybody... no, we have to learn to recognize greatness everywhere when it actually exists. Evil we have to recognize also. When there's somebody who's doing bad things, that we have to recognize. But we also have to recognize goodness where it exists, even if it's on the opposing side. Even if it's on the side that opposes us, and the side which as a side is lacking in virtue. So Bhishma was a great fighter and an extraordinary person who lived his life according to a principle, or lived his life according to the Dharma. So in the Mahabharata there's a whole section devoted to his words on his deathbed during the Mahabharata war, where he did give up his life. So anyway, that's Bhishma. And so for today, I'll just summarize what we went over, and then if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer any questions. One of the beginning point was about Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra. That we have to remember that this is our Kurukshetra, and that we have to face maybe too close to this, I don't know if it's just feedback. Okay. The Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra, which is Kurukshetra, this is our Kurukshetra and our Dharmakshetra, where we have to learn to lead dharmic lives. Why? It's not because God wants us to lead dharmic lives. It's not because some sages wanted us to lead dharmic lives. No. Dharma is for our own good. Dharma is for our own good. Dharma is that which protects us. The one who lives according to Dharma is protected by Dharma. And so I've heard so many times, both in the East and the West, I hear it in India, I hear it here, I hear it everywhere, people saying that, oh, if you're too good, then the world will walk all over you. No, that's a lie. That's not true. That's goody-goodiness. That's not what we're asking for, goody-goodiness, whereas one of our Swamis used to say, from an Indian expression, that, oh, he's so good that butter won't melt on his tongue. Even if you put ghee in his tongue, it still won't melt because he's so goody-goody. But that's not what we want. Real goodness is the goodness of someone like Bhishma, the goodness of Arjuna, the goodness of Sri Krishna, which is, of course, supreme goodness, beyond even goodness. What we want is the goodness which is a strength, a goodness which is founded in truth, and which says, no, I will not swerve from Dharma. That's not weakness at all. Weakness is being like a doormat to everybody. Let anybody do anything they want to me because I'm so good that I won't fight back. Let anybody hurt me, let anybody spit on me, doesn't matter. No, that's not goodness, that's weakness. Goodness is a strength. And so that's why Swami Vivekananda always emphasized strength. He said that strength is what the world needs, so be strong. And that's what the message of the Gita is. As we go through the Gita, you'll find that again and again, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna to be strong in various words, including words like Tasmad Yudhyasva Bharata. Again and again he says, therefore stand up and fight, O Arjuna. He's telling him to be good, but to be good so that he can stand up and fight, not so that he can lie down and let people walk all over him. No, that's not goodness. Again, that's weakness. So Kurukshetra, which is Dharmakshetra, this is our Dharmakshetra. And then again, to look at the characters psychologically, to see the weaknesses of Dhritarashtra, the blind old king, who's basically a good person, but not a strong person. He's a good person in the very ordinary sense, not the sense that I'm saying that we have to be good, which is a strength. His was a goodness of weakness, where he couldn't make the right decision. Much like the father of Ramachandra. The father of Ramachandra also was basically a good person, but a highly compromised person, not the goodness of spiritual strength, who couldn't stand up to his second wife and say, no, I'm not going to banish Rama. To look at the characters psychologically, to see the nature of Dhritarashtra, to see the nature of Duryodhana, who's filled with doubts about himself, and yet he wants to hurt people. He's got that vindictive nature, and so he insults Drona, and then brags about himself. So, and then Bhishma, who was a man of great principle, whom even Duryodhana, with all of his suspicion and so forth, even a person like Duryodhana couldn't doubt Bhishma's loyalty, and wanted all of the generals to be specially mindful to protect Bhishma. And so next time, next month when I come, we'll start from here, and where Bhishma has begun to sound the conch shells in order to strike fear in the hearts of the Pandavas and to encourage Duryodhana and his soldiers, and then we'll see the reaction of the Pandavas. So let me see if there are any questions at this point.
We will be limiting ourselves to 3 questions, but before that, just 1 minute, please. Maharaj, you have created a Bhagavad Gita family here. And I see about 50 people here. And those of you who are interested in getting a copy of Bhagavad Gita, we have copies in the next house. See the message there, then take a copy. And also, Maharaj, your blessings on this day, spiritually charged day, Holy Mother's birthday celebration, and there are several daughters here who celebrated Holy Mother's birthday. And thank you for your blessings on us, Maharaj. And did you notice, Maharaj, how carefully he has caught the traditional way of chanting Bhagavad Gita? Ananya chintayanto yogakshemam vahamyam. That is something really very interesting. He got the traditional way of chanting Bhagavad Gita slokas. That's excellent. And one request to all of you, today we have a good attendance. Mother is here, Mother will be always here. Maharaj will come on Saturdays. We'll mention to you which Saturday. This is the first class. So today attendance is over 50. For the second class, should not be 25, 20, it should keep up saying 50 and more. So please, keep coming for the Gita class. And with that, we will take the first question.